Greetings and salutations, travelers. Welcome back to the Inn of Planar Crossroads, and as always, welcome back to our Around the Hearth discussions. This time, we are discussing this. We are titled Malignant Metroidvania Missions. So, you might have guessed we're going to be talking about missions in a Metroidvania type of TTRPG with Lovecraftian and body horror, like abominable things. For August Abominations. So, before we get into that, yeah, it's all coming together. It's almost like it's planned that way. But before we actually get into that, we're going to do Dan's introductions and announcements, and we're changing it a little bit. It's not a big change for y'all, but I usually go first, and then say someone's going to go after me, and they're going to go first. But we're used to this now, so we're going to let Dan actually go first. And then Skrat, and then me. So I'll be going last in Dan's introductions and announcements. Wow. Take it away, Dan.
I'm honored, sir. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Dan from Avenue Studios. You can find all our links on avenuestudios.media. Join us Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, for our minis campaign. Currently, we are in the midst of Eldamon the Gatekeepers using Roll for Combat's Battle Zoo Bestiary content in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Ton of fun. Check that out. Of course, we got tons of one-shots, including our Scratterday collaborations with the Squirrel Plays and lots of other things. And, yeah, I have some horror music playing in the background, and the image, I had to click away. It was too much. I just needed everybody to know. I always like to play music while we're talking that matches the theme. But anyways, Tag the Squirrel.
Oh, yep, that's me. I am Skrat from A Squirrel Plays, exclusively on YouTube. One of these days they'll pay me for that exclusivity. But until then, business as usual. I like to talk about story-related things like world building and character building and plot points and interesting things like that, which naturally bleeds over into TTRPGs a lot, which is how I got sucked into it. So now I get to do some TTRPG reviews on top of that. We've been live streaming a development of a playset for EZD6 and also been live streaming just some games, like we played a historical fiction today, also in the EZD6 setting. I do promise that I do other things other than EZD6.
It's a good system.
It is a very good system. And I had something else, but I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, currently working on a video about dragons, but that'll be a few weeks old by the time this comes out. So.
I love your thumbnail, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot I made a
community post. I saw the community post, yeah. It's so good.
Oh, but that's me kicking the ball over to, the host, who should probably start the introductions, but didn't. I don't know.
What?
Gracious.
Calling me out? Calling me
Gentleman
out?
And a scholar.
Tell you what, I do one change of thing, and it's like, it's no good. I don't handle
like change well.
We said it behind the scenes that we're grumpy old men. Change isn't good.
Yeah.
Change is inevitable. Oh, but I'm Adam L. Spain with the Inn of Planar Crossroads. innofplanarcrossroads.com or the IOPC.com. Either one of those works. You can check it out with the different links that we have and the different stuff we got going on with like PayPal, locals. We got YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Subscribestar, whole bunch of different type of stuff that you can get with us on and subscribe to, and support us if you want to. Supporting at any level gets you access to what we're making here, and Lord willing, we'll be able to get all of these put into a printable form for people so that they can then use them. So that's the intention. We'll see how everything goes, and we'll see how the interest is. So you can support to get access to those actual printable files, but you can also just listen if you'd like to, which you can do that in a minute. This finishes up Dan's introductions and announcements. This is future Adam's audio cue to go to Levi's Spotlight, Levi's Shoutout, for quests and quills someone found recently. It's at 1,730 subscribers at the moment, and he does minis, miniature painting, hobby stuff, tips and things like that. And you can check him out. I think he has another thing he does with like kids and teaching them about storytelling and stuff like that in a workshop, but that's on his site. I don't know that he actually talks about that in his YouTube videos. So either way, you can check him out. It wouldn't be too hard to set him over to 2,000 subs. So maybe we will. Never know. So that's what we have for Levi's Shoutout. It means it's time to grab your preferred beverage and join us around the hearth in this sweltering hot August. It's sweltering hot right now.
July's pretty hot, yeah.
Probably will be in August, as we discuss for Kane's for the Councils of Kane, Malignant Metroidvania missions. Skål.
Skål. I just think Dr. Seuss, whenever Adam gets 3 letters in his alliteration.
Oh, what was it? Before we started, I was like, Malignant Metroids mangle modern machinery. That's what I told Skrat.
Destroy civilization.
Malignant Metroids mangle modern machinery mercilessly.
It makes me think of my favorite one. Many mumbling mice. M. That's so good.
All right. So we're gonna kind of be focusing on the adventure portion. We'll go back and forth probably as we populate things for the crash side as well as the adventure. So, let's see. We had Skrat start last time. So what are some plot hooks that you had, Dan, for the listeners?
I mean, it's kind of like we were talking about my notes. I basically copied Skrat's homework, but it's get off the planet, which is who was it saying? Surviving is winning. Although with that, I was thinking, and we can riff on that together, but this can also involve like the sub plot hook of figuring out what the planet is. Now we've added in the copies, so that's a possible thing they could discover. What has happened before, because we have these potentially all kinds of different ruins they could run across. So it kind of all falls under get off the planet. My second one I kind of threw out was the potential of the planet must die, which I say not mutually exclusive. And one of my cool endings is that they do something that they sacrifice themselves to somehow, at the least, like we had talked about last episode, wound the planet, so maybe it won't hurt people for some amount of time.
Yeah.
However, I am falling in love with they get off, and there's at least one copy in the group, and you can have that after credits scene.
After credits scene where
that's good.
Just like one guy, maybe he's the guy that's flying, and there's this stuff that creeps over his eye, and then he just rubs it, and it's gone. And it's like,
a good one. If this was like a movie of some sort, if there was a very unique looking or something you could identify easily type of plant, like that was just all over that planet, and
that's
then back to the space station and everything, camera zooming out, and then like there's some growing in the vent of the space station, like we had talked about before, it consuming the whole space station and becoming the planet. So it's just out of the cracks or something. Anyway, does that mean it's on me now?
Well, you're muted, Dan.
Sorry, guys. I shouldn't fix audio drivers while doing this.
Yeah.
The only other thing I was thinking about, and Skrat will probably talk about too, now with what we've been talking about, it's if you crash ship and we're getting them to the second location I think we're talking about is needing stuff. That's going to be the first step to getting off the planet. Mm-hmm. Needing tech, needing stuff to repair the ship, or it's the research, which could lead to seeing that plant and add that in the background descriptions.
So I like how this became a thing with multiple endings. So with multiple endings, though, that gives us multiple plot hooks now. So, the basic one we had was, what is this planet? If you're the research crew, it's like, why isn't this? Go document it, figure it out. Pretty routine. And then even on that team or the crash land team, you still have to get off. And we talked about different ways. Like, lightning hits it, you can't get off, or there's a slow charge for some reason, something's interfering it, whatever the case may be. Bottom line is, all right, we got to try and get off. And eventually you learn, we have to survive until we get off. Because there's weird things. But as you uncover more, you get more plot hooks. Like we learned, there's other ships around here. Now we got to, there's your other plot hook. Or I guess quest hook, if you want to call it that. Like, where did these ships come from? How come they didn't make it off? Where's the people? And then it's like, what's going on with these weird monsters? And then maybe you start learning there's something weird about the planet. So there's your other plot hook. It's like, we got to figure out what's up with the planet, which can lead to what do we do with the planet. So I think we got plenty of different plot hooks we can use there. And it's great because this is still one game, and it's totally up to the players what they want to pursue. It's not... Say the plot hook I guess we're forcing is, how do you get off this planet? And then that's it. However much extra they want to do, and that will determine, good, bad ending that they get, which I guess the best ending is everybody surviving, figuring out what the planet is, and blowing it up somehow, or deteriorating it, dissolving it, or something. And
without anyone dying and becoming a copy.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible, I think.
Yeah. I guess below that would be you escape, but you don't blow up the planet. Below that would be, some people escape. You have no idea what that planet is. You never learn. I guess below that would be everybody dies. I feel like there's something between those two. But...
Yeah, it's a gradation.
Yeah.
But it would be, the worst would be the ending where you've copied and died so many times that you've become the monsters on the planet now.
I think the worst feeling one would be you learned what the planet is and didn't get off to tell anybody. But that could be another level of ending. Like, you don't get off the planet, but you get a message out about the planet. So
that's fair.
That could be another one. So
that's
the other one. Yeah, the worst feeling would be you learned everything and you couldn't get a message out and you couldn't get off the planet. Just no.
And then it blips out from there, blips in somewhere else, and the last thing you see is another ship coming in to crash that.
Yeah. Or just like the camera is doing its thing, kind of panning as the planet goes off the screen, and what transition is another group of people in a space station. What's this planet that's not on the chart?
Yes. Yes. When you're in space, no one can hear you scream.
And I watched a video recently about, it was just not the making of Alien as in the whole movie, but just the alien in the movie.
Okay.
That how they came up with him and, hunting down Geiger
like the lore and stuff?
No, like how, when they were making
or how
the movie,
they executed
how they
it.
Got that design and everything. And so, talked about them talking, I think Geiger's his name, right?
Yeah,
That
H.R.
design,
Geiger.
Yeah.
Talked about that, and then the face huggers were originally supposed to be that black color as the alien, but director man saw the unpainted model and he was like, keep it.
That's funny.
So
it is
neat.
creepier with it not being black.
It is, and then the chest burster was originally much larger, but that was because it had to be big enough to get a hand in to puppeteer it.
Oh,
But then they're like, that can't fit in you and come out. So that doesn't make any sense. But it showed the model, and it's like, ugh, that thing it was gross looking.
What I think is really freaky.
back when they tried.
Well,
Yeah.
Sorry.
they
Carry
didn't, they didn't tell everybody what they were going to do with the chest burster scene. And
Oh, really?
they just said, okay,
Yeah.
so this is going to happen and he's going to start reacting and stuff. But they didn't
Yes.
say everything that was going to happen. And so when he's coughing, they're like, they're showing actual kind of concern. And then when that thing actually bursts out, her taking God's name in vain and stuff like that and all those reactions, you can tell when you look at when you know what it is and you're like, oh, you watch for their actual reactions. You're like, oh man, they did not understand that was going to happen. Because they back off really
one
quick.
Shot with all the blood and everything. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And it's like, oh, and everybody backs off. Even the people that are supposed to be like stern and holding him down, everybody just backs off when that thing comes out. It's like, so
It's good.
you can sometimes achieve things similar to that with your players when you've got them on the table. And they don't know what's going to
Yes.
happen.
With our coming back, you could totally have chest burster type stuff happen.
So have
just
one
saying.
installed in your table and just a button shoots out.
Yeah, but then it's gonna put a top hat on and go, hello my baby, hello my honey.
Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Spaceballs.
That's funny.
All right. So, Skrat, did you have specific plot hooks you were looking at?
Well, no, I mean, we covered them already. I liked the, well, I mean, the original one was to get off the planet. I was leaning heavily on the crash landing. Even whether or not
Right.
you were originally going to investigate or you were just escaping, but it resulted in like maybe this planet's got a weird storm surrounding it.
Well, it's got, if we do that thing where they're receiving, so this thing should not, there's a dwarf planet where something else should be, like the space station should be there, but
That would be a big hint.
there's a dwarf planet there now, and they're receiving the SOS from some kind of location beacon or something like that from the space station that's supposed to be there, but there's a planet there, so they have to figure that out maybe. And that could be number 2. And then
I also like the crash landing because it was easier to it was easier to send them out to go find stuff. And I think Dan had mentioned that earlier. It's like, you need parts, you need something. That way when you see the other weird ship, you're like, I have a reason to go in it. But it's also weird, and that, curiosity can naturally take over at that point. Instead of trying to force there's something weird on this planet, go figure it out. So, which carries into the multiple plot hooks we were talking about. So it's up to the players. If they just want to get off the planet,
Right.
they can go salvage some ships and maybe explore a little bit. And maybe get off.
It's I think no, because if you're just going to crash land, you just start the story there. Doesn't matter how they got to the planet at that point. You're crashing onto this planet. If you are doing the research thing, you can have, like Adam said, well, we're pursuing this beacon, or just give them a reason. They already are, because you've established that in session 0. This is what we're doing. You're going here, and then you do something to damage the ship or prevent it. Obviously, we got to get them stuck for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the key. Gotta push them into the room, close the door behind them, and lock it. You now have this many hours.
are you saying that every TTRPG is basically a escape room?
I think you could make that argument for dungeon crawls, for sure.
Do you want the Like having a random alien ship be a plot hook.
I think that could be for sure.
Because that would raise a lot of questions, and then they might want to learn more.
Well, this
Right.
kind of goes into the a little into the character section. Are we going to have aliens, like other aliens, like they do in Metroid or some of the other sci-fis? Or are we just going to kind of keep it mainly human?
Well, I had a note on the NPCs thing about I don't know what NPCs would be there, like because it's a very abandoned, lonely planet, like Super Metroid was. And it was mostly focusing on the weird monsters, but I did have a couple suggestions about ghosts being there, ghosts of those that were there before you, and they could be either trying to warn you or intentionally luring you in farther, like if the planet's controlling them.
Mm-hmm.
Or the other option was if the people do get consumed and turned into monsters, maybe that's the ghosts, are part of them legitimately trying to help you and warn you with limited communication. So that was all I was able to come up with for NPCs. Or I used Super Metroid as an example there. You can see in the notes about maybe some of the... If there's creatures on there that aren't made by the planet and they're just legitimately trying to help you figure things out for the Metroidvania way. And if you haven't played Super Metroid, there's a couple creatures you come across that show you controls that you can do, abilities that the game, so the game saying, push, down, left, right, Hadouken, that
Yes.
you just see them move and you can see what they're doing. And like one does the shine spark, which lets you dash vertically. It's like, that's how that works. And then one teaches you how to wall jump. So, good game design.
That could work too with the copy thing, if these are copies of other people previously that have been corrupted now, so they know how to navigate the world. So if you watch them, you can learn things. Yeah, I do like the lack of NPCs for that isolation feeling.
That's what I'm thinking. Just nobody. Right. They would come through. What you could do, and I don't know if I wrote this down or not, but what you could do is have an NPC through a series of notes. Like you never talk to them
that was my
directly.
next suggestion.
You're just finding logs from the same person, and you get to know them that way. But
right, I would throw out for fun maybe like 2, and they're giving contradictory information here and there. I kind of like that. And you could chalk it up to, maybe it's just different perspectives, but I don't know. That would take a little bit of planning and foresight. And it's still something that's kind of, what do I want to say? It's up to the players, because if they are not going to really engage, if they're the type that doesn't engage with the... Like Kristen wants to look at every computer terminal.
Yeah. You're talking about the notes contradicting each other. You could have the notes from the same person contradict each other.
That's true.
Because he became the copy later. And I was going to say, that happens in Metroid Dread. They do that.
Oh,
Your
does it really?
AI buddy. I think he's... You get like one conversation with your AI buddy in the beginning. And then after that conversation, it's not him through the rest of the game. And he gives you a hint that I totally missed. He calls you by the wrong thing. Because your AI is based off this goober from Other M who always called you lady. And so the AI always calls you lady. And that's how the game starts off. And then I think in the rest of the game, he calls you Samus. So it's
interesting.
It's just a little hiccup.
Subtle. Yeah.
I think that's how it went down. I can't remember. But...
So it's a fun thing. That's a fun thing, which is still optional. That was the word I was looking for. It's still kind of optional for the players to engage with. I like that. That's fun.
I like the finding notes from the same guy, but all of a sudden they shift.
Yep, I like that too, especially because of the copy thing. That's a really good point. It is different people, actually.
Yeah. Okay, okay. So are we
Or you could
feeling
do the
pretty good?
classic- I was gonna say you could do the classic Resident Evil thing, the itchy tasty notes. You familiar with that?
No.
I think it's the
No.
first Resident Evil. There's a diary entry, and it's one of the guys that worked at the lab or whatever. And at first it's completely coherent, and then like the second entry, he's like, he does his entry and it's normal at the end, and he's like, it's just always so itchy and something's so tasty, and it keeps, and then the next entry is a little worse, and it's like it's just so itchy. This whatever thing so tasty, and then like the last entry, it's just itchy tasty.
That's so
It
good.
became a popular thing for a while. So itchy tasty.
Itchy tasty.
Yeah, because he was turning into a zombie and getting
Right.
shredding his skin off and eating it and everything. So
Yeah. All right, so are we feeling pretty good about the ones that we have here?
what we got? PCs have crashed. Locate the signal location. Collect calls. Is that where you go find other ships, or?
That's in the deep. The idea is that each of them correspond to the different locations. So the crash site is basically them doing the first dungeon dive via their crash site. They can start to. They probably need to have to locate the thing up there, and then maybe the collect calls from nowhere. The collect calls from everywhere are getting down to the deep control room to understand where the signals are. I probably need to change that.
Looks like this.
Nice.
Yeah, I see what you're doing there. And then surviving is winning, getting it. Escape. Yeah, escape shuttle. Ooh, that'd be your bonus ending. You rig up one of the fancy alien ships and escape with it and get some new tech.
You could do that.
That's the 102% ending.
Yeah. Well, we can actually put that in the surviving is winning thing. It might be something that can clear the space, clear the distance easier.
Or you could be mean and the alien ship is the only one that can get out fast enough or puncture through the storm or whatever, so every other ship you get blow up trying to escape. What was it, Donkey Kong Country 2? You could have your file could be 102%, I think.
That
When I
sounds
was-
vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can.
You definitely should have like printouts for achievement unlocked on this one. It's like at the end, give them like percentage.
I tried to do achievements in that mushroom campaign, and it was because they could get achievements through the game, and then they would accrue points, achievement points, and they could spend that to upgrade their little home base, which gave them tiny little stat boosts and things like that. So
That's adorable.
it's hard as heck to keep up with because you're having to remember every achievement, and when some of them they knew and could be on the lookout for. It's just like, 3 crits in a row or something.
Oh, so you were doing
ridiculous.
secret achievements too.
Yes. Yeah. 'Cause, there was one was like pet the dog. The first dog they come across, did they pet it? I wasn't gonna reveal that because then they do it.
That's so funny, dude.
So when somebody's just like, "Well, I pet the dog" while they were doing that, and I had the little audio button ready to go, the hotkey, the Xbox, achievement noise.
At least for this, you could do like kind of get all your general type of endings and give them some kind of label, and whatever ending they get, that's the achievement they get at the end. You got the
bad
escape with
ending.
no answers. The bad ending, that has to be one of them.
That's where everybody dies multiple times, and they just become Flesh monsters.
Part of the planet. Yeah.
Yep. Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Alright, just finding. So what would be the thing with collect calls from nowhere?
Is that where you start finding notes about something being weird about the planet?
I think that would be throughout that.
When you figure out there's something else going on. Some weird.
I guess the tricky part is it kind of depends on what the players decide to do. And how much they figure out. So I think the middle one would be it kind of sets you on the path for your ending, in a way. Because if they're not very interested in the data entries and they're really hyper-focused on just getting out, they're just going to look for whatever tech they need to fix their ship, or maybe you can hint at the alien ship, and they're going to hyper-focus on that. They're going to get that done.
Well, I think what's going to end up happening is that you'll have to have them be... I mean, you may have some combat-oriented individuals, but it's going to be more of a... This is like a response team. It's not like a... Unless you do like the pirates.
Mercenary crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You could do like a pirate thing where they're picking up a signal and they're space scavengers and stuff like that. You could do that. But there's still going to be a diverse crew to be able to do that.
Right. Well, I was just thinking as you're saying that the sci-fi movie trope of all the different, everyone's got to fill their role, the scientist, the guy who's supposed to protect everybody.
Yeah,
Maybe there's the leader.
And as much as that's tropey, it's actually very accurate to what you would need. So
right. It's a great thing to do. Theoretically, you could kind of have hey, we need to fill these roles in your crew. This is your crew.
Yeah, you just straight up tell them
select.
You need this is the crew for your ship. So, and you can have more than the players that they are.
Right.
That could be something that you do. We could put one player down there in the NPCs that is like that none of them get to play. He's just it's whether we say he, she, or maybe it's an alien or something. It gets to be a part of that crew.
Or it's a nice red shirt to establish the horror that you could die.
Yeah. But if the red shirt dies, but then they're like, we're not going to let our red shirt die, and he revives back.
Yeah.
He's the villain of the next campaign. Because how easy would it be for that biomass to just take over that ship? That escape pod.
Yep.
When they bring the red shirt with them.
Ooh. Especially the advanced alien tech.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we can make the alien ship that they have to get to, the old crashed ship, doesn't have to be old tech in the sense of it's bad tech, like it's, junky. It's both old but advanced at the same time.
Yes.
Type of situation.
Another classic sci-fi thing.
So both can work.
Could potentially, like Skrat was teasing about last episode of red herring of time travel. That it might be some type of precursor tech. Lost tech. That's always fun.
Or an adversarial. If you go as far future, you could do it this was one of the adversarial ships from the Second Imperium that they were fighting, and now they've got peace treaties with them and their allies and stuff like that. So they have a familiarity with some of their stuff, but this is still old stuff to them. Mm-hmm. But some of that's where they get the more combat-focused war upgrades, though, is those kind of ships that they find in old warships as they're trying to get down to figure out where this thing is, to the deep control room.
the planet waits for times of peace when people are more easily susceptible.
Hey, it's just hungry.
Good times, weak men, sort of thing.
All right. So we're pretty close to time. If we're trying to stick to our 30-minute mark, the first one always goes a little long, but this is our second one. So we'll try to keep a little bit tighter, especially since Dan needs to. Old man Dan needs to get to bed on time. So
I have people yelling at me. My cicadas are out of rhythm.
you're
That's what I tell my brother.
Anyway.
Is that the comment of the day?
Yeah, there we go. It's coming early this time. My cicadas are out of rhythm. And yes, the mistake is on purpose. So it's not a mistake. My cicadas are out of rhythm.
I don't mind if people think I'm stupid.
But it's so much easier to overachieve then, when they think you can. All right, Skrat. We need to go ahead and do Skrat's final question.
Oh, yeah. So, they brought up combat stuff just a minute ago, and I ashamed of myself. I should have come up with this question a long time ago, because I need to ask it every month. So, in this setting, how do you make a barbarian?
Oh. That's the heavy gunner, man.
Yeah.
The heavy gunner's the barbarian.
Can a barbarian be ranged?
That barbarian is.
I mean, the classic thing.
Minigun.
Yeah, when you run out of bullets, you just smash them you just smash the minigun into their face.
I was gonna say the classic thing of like they're juiced up. They get juiced up, and that's how they go in a rage. I can't remember what game it is where you do that. It had a good setting. It doesn't matter.
Gears of War?
But,
they all look like barbarians.
No, but they all look like barbarians. That's actually a good way to do it. Just put a chainsaw on your gun. It'll be fine. There's that. I mean, if you're crash landing and not necessarily doing the research team, if you go like a pitch black thing, you could have someone like Riddick in there.
Riddick's got rogue levels. I don't know if he's got barbarian levels. It depends on how far into his lore you get, I guess.
Yeah.
So he's like a
Vin Diesel
or something
class.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
He could do Hexblade because he gets like timey-wimey sight and stuff.
Right.
Necrosight because he's Furion. Because they had to do that. I mean, it's space fantasy. I liked it when it was grittier. Personally, I liked it when it was more just sci-fi.
I love Pitch Black. Yeah. Chronicles of Riddick gets a little. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's good. But yeah, that's my first fallback. Is like military grade. They're allowed to use some kind of injection. You could go with the Halo lore, where they have the thing where they just get beefed up with all that stuff where they don't even feel anything. They can't feel pain or anything, but then they'll die right after for the Spartan 3s.
Well, how would you build a barbarian in this, Skrat?
I hate to say it, but I was thinking about Star Wars.
You hate
the Bad Batch. They had one of them was the big dummy. And he had some kind of knife on him he carried. So the Star Wars world, they have the vibro blades, which is just like a thin blade that vibrates 1,000,000 miles an hour, and so it can just through anything. So you could have something like that the barbarian would be probably start off more as a commando, but as you're on the planet, obviously you run out of ammo because you probably wouldn't have that much. So you would be forced into that melee weapon. So some kind of cool, not lightsaber type of laser sword, but a sword or large dagger that has the laser edge on it, something like that. So you could have he would be a commando, but it would be as close as the barbarian as you could get. And like you were saying, if you had performance enhancing drugs, that could be your rage.
They all have the little blue pill on them at all times.
It would be kind of neat though if they had some kind of armor that could power on, but you had a limited number of uses of that through the whole game. Like that whole mission you're doing. Like it's like, oh, you have 10 charges and that's it. Then your suit's depleted. You can't rage no more. So
that's a good way to do it too.
That.
Yeah, the suit is the rage. Yeah, that's cool. It also gives a potential item they could be searching for, something to give them
might
more
be
rages.
A choice too. Do you want to charge your suit, or do you want to take the power and turn this other thing on and maybe find more lore and figure out what the heck's going on?
Use of universal power cells type of thing.
Yeah. And now the wizard and barbarian are arguing.
Or, I mean, shoot, you could just find something that needs power, like some research stations they've set up, and it's like, well, we could hook your suit up to it, but it will consume your uses. So you could do it that way too.
Yep. That's fun.
I need to ask that question every month, though. How do you build a barbarian in this setting?
I love it.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that's Skrat's final question. That means we're done with Councils of Kane, and we're done with Skrat's final question. It's time for the outro. We hope you have enjoyed our discussion this time, Malignant Metroidvania missions. And if I said it last time, I'm going to say it this time also before we stop. Embrace the Metroidvania. Use the maps. And just tweak them to what you want to have in there. Because if you're going to do it, you may as well just do it. Take the map. And guaranteed, if you tweak it, even slightly, that's a big enough map that people aren't just going to immediately recognize it. Especially if you bother to have it where it's themed around the things that you're doing in your game, your campaign. So, anyway, we hope you've enjoyed taking it in reverse order again. Quests and Quills has been our shout out this time. He's at 730 subscribers. Hopefully he can get up to 2,000 with our little bit of a signal boost for him. Remember, A Squirrel Plays on YouTube, and it's exclusivity to YouTube. Remember Avenue Studios with their YouTube and Rumble and Patreon locals links and stuff like that. Remember the Inn of Planar Crossroads, which is where you are now. And it's innofplanarcrossroads.com or theiopc.com. Either one of those should work. But for now, as always, have a great day. God bless and enjoy. Bye.
Bye.
This content was made possible by travelers and viewers like you. Thank you.
Historical fiction.
Nice.
Pretty
Yeah,
fun.
that's Jake's jam.
Historical
Had some
fiction
fun,
is pretty fun.
That was my
It is.
first. Well, so there's alternate history and then there's historical fiction. So like I've done some
Fair enough.
alternate history, but
Yeah.
it was fun. There was some fun rule, like the black powder muskets rules that got added in and stuff like that. It was pretty fun.
Did Scotty do that one, or is it somebody else?
Carl Makes Stuff made it, and Scotty was supposed to
Oh,
be
that's
there.
right.
Yeah, Scotty was going to play with us, and then like day before yesterday, he's like, hey, just reminded me.
Oh, no. I love that guy. He is, I'm fairly certain he's a blonde in spirit.
Oh, yeah.
Just wonderful
He's just-
person to
he's
be
an old
with.
hippie.
but, yeah. What did he say before we started?
Well,
I probably should say. Oh yeah, what'd you do for the 4th of July?
I was like, oh, I sat around getting high all day.
Really high. I was just like, that's kind of the American way right now. So
As a firework.
that's right. I died laughing. He's so happy too. It's just delightful. That's all I can think of it. But trying to schedule stuff with him is fun.
Busy guy.
He is.
And confuses easily.
Yes. I love it.
I can't imagine him high. Just sitting there going,
Or maybe he's just himself.
well,
It could be.
Might
You
not
might
be
not
able to
be able
tell the
to
difference.
tell. Yes. It's just. It was fun. It's fun to play with him, though. He's great. He's. I don't know if we're actually that funny, but he laughed at almost all our jokes, so it's great.
he had a good time.
Oh, so glad.
All right, y'all ready to talk about Malignant Metroidvania missions?
Yeah,
Let's
man.
do it.
Take it away.
All right, room tone. Okay. Put this over here so it follows the sequence. All right.
Must follow the sequence to open the door.
Yep. All right.